everybody, Crypto Knights here for another video. Fortunately, I made a little boo-boo on last night's video, so I had to take that down. So, I'll touch on a couple of things I talked about yesterday. So if you didn't, catch that video before I took it down, I can share that information with you. But I'm going to kind of combine yesterday's video with some of the stuff I want to talk about today. So first, if you like what I'm doing, the content, etc., don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to know when these new videos pop out, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring my bell. So just really quick, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give you financial advice. Really, these are just my opinions, my take on the market. What I'm doing my strategies, and Apex Trader just blew up. So, I love that cha-ching sound. It's definitely moved up to probably my top 3 sounds at this point. So anyway, before I got interrupted by the sound of me making money, not much, but hey, I'll take it. These are just my views and my thoughts. Please make sure you do your own research and, learn from multiple sources. Make your own opinions. Don't just go by what 1 or 2 people say. Definitely explore the market, and it'll open up your eyes to a lot of different views. So with that said, let's take a look at this market. So Bitcoin dominance is almost at 57% now. We're running a 56.7. I've seen it go as high as 56.8 a few times. Volume still really low. We're looking at 11 billion for the day, and our market cap continues to descend into the depths of the abyss with 192 billion overall. So before I go into where Bitcoin and Ethereum stand for the day, I want to touch just a little bit more on Bitcoin dominance, and I'm going to use my phone for a second just because the app makes it a little bit easier to read. Just really quick, so Bitcoin dominance, obviously 56.7. Ethereum is 9.83, Ripple 5.7, Bitcoin Cash at 3.97, Litecoin 1.58, and then you have 5 others just under 1%. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I really want to just get you to understand how important that is when it comes to trading in the altcoins, and to make you just aware that there has to be caution when trading in the altcoins with Bitcoin dominance so high. So as I just heard, there's, before you even get to the majority of these 1900 cryptocurrencies, you have something like 10 cryptocurrencies that are eating up the majority of the market. So when everything's said and done, you have just a little over of 18%, 18.35% right now to be exact, or 18.85% to be exact right now. That's split up between 1900, essentially, other cryptocurrencies. So if your bots aren't performing the way that they are, or you're not seeing the volume, that's because there's not a lot of volume in the altcoins right now, where the majority of the focus is put into Bitcoin. So, and as Bitcoin dominance rises, there's going to be a move at Bitcoin up or down. I'm not saying which way. I have my own thoughts on that, which I'll go into really quick. So, but just keep that in mind that, trading in alts and, using your bots, it's going to be difficult to pull profit. And you're going to take some losses. When it's going up this high, that means the money's getting pulled out of the altcoins, and people are throwing it into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the king. He rules them all right now. He is that one ring. So we'll go over to Binance real quick. So there was a little rally earlier with Bitcoin, and as we can see, that rally has been wiped out. It's all sideways trading the past couple days. I don't know what to say. I mean, this is just, it's brutal. Not a lot of volume, and right now Bitcoin just going in one direction, not really up or down by all that much. So I went into a little bit more depth on my previous video, which I pulled down. So I'm just going to touch on a couple ways that Bitcoin can go, just to give you guys an idea of where I'm seeing, reading, and watching all these technical analysis. The main three ideas. First one is coincides with the first two sentiments, is Bitcoin going to hit that $6,000 hard level of support. The first idea is it's going to hit 6,000, then it's going to hit the last level of support at 5,700, and it's like somewhere between 5,700 and 5,800. It's going to break through there, and then we have about a 30% fall to the next true level of support, which is at around $4,000. That's a long free fall with nothing to support it. So be prepared. That's the most common scenario I'm seeing right now. Number two, Bitcoin hits 6,000. We hold that level of support, which really then at that point gives us a true bottom for Bitcoin at $6,000 USD, and then we'll hopefully see the bulls gain strength and a nice organic run back up through. Just keep in mind that if, any upward momentum has to go through a lot of levels of resistance at this point. Rule of thumb, what was once a level of support becomes a level of resistance, and vice versa. The last sentiment that I'm seeing, it's not as much, but there's still sentiment that in this consolidation period, the bulls are gathering their strength, and we'll see a retracement back up to at least 6,800. I've heard 7,200, I've heard 8,500. We'll just have to wait and see, but right now I will continue to play this as if the bears have a full grip on the market, and worst case scenario, I'm expecting to see Bitcoin hit 4,000. I don't think that's a bad idea, me personally. The way I look at it is, at that point, we will get rid of some of these really crappy coins out there because their value will just go beyond to nothing. I don't say it's going to be an altcoin apocalypse yet. I think that's still yet to come. We probably won't see that for a couple years, and I'll discuss that in a later video. But it would be good to kind of thin out the herd a little bit, and then think about it. It hits 4,000, and those of us who have stuck with the market in this bear market made money off of this bear market, even if it's a little bit. The way up will be, the skies will open up, rainbows will shoot out of everywhere, land in your living room with a pot of gold, and you'll be able to burn some money in a fire. Maybe not literally, but you see my point here. Ethereum, we'll touch on real quick. Ethereum's going through a rough time. More and more sentiment is that we could be seeing the death rolls of Ethereum and the Ethereum network. I don't have enough information right now to offer my opinion on that. It's one of the things I will look into in between all the other things I've been trying to do, because I would like to offer at least my view on that. But it's not looking good. It's still in a free fall. That's the only way to put this. We have seen a little bit of a consolidation, but we can continue to see that it's just continuing to go down. So, I say, for me, I will squeeze every penny I can get out of these Ethereum pairs, and then probably jump out of that. And I'm not sure after that. I'll have to continue to make my decision and strategy as things develop. I might have to go back into BTC. I've heard some people have had success with BNB, but right now the BNB pairs don't look too hot, and the USD pairs don't look too hot either. And of course, Bitcoin pairs are just getting wrecked. If you're running Bitcoin pairs right now and you're making money, I would love to know what strategy that is. Just saying, I would love to give that a shot. So, with that said, we'll go into Apex Trader. And as you guys know, I've been running both the Venom strategy and the Bone Comma strategy. And, you know, I've, over the past couple of weeks now, I've had a chance to, I got to talk to Sir Bevo, if I got that right. Let me, oh, did I close it? I think, no, there it is. Yeah, Sir Bevo, he's the one that made Bone Comma, and Viper is the one that has designed Venom. Both great guys, know what they're doing. You know, so if you guys have questions, you know, they do have channels in the, why do I keep forgetting? But in, you know, in the chat, and you can, you know, there's a lot of people that use it, have knowledge about it, so even if they're not around, you know, you can talk to someone who's been using it, Discord. There you go. I'm still new to Discord, so kind of brain fart there. I like them both. They complement each other. You know, and then when they're both working, it's, you know, it's crazy. My computer would just go off and off and off, and it's kind of fun just to watch them both in action. Great strategies. I love them both. So performance-wise, we'll go into Venom really quick. So since I didn't, you know, I had to take down yesterday's video. So on the 9th, I closed with 92 wins on Venom, 10 losses with a 1.71 positive investment. The 10th, I had 83 wins, 6 losses with 2.2, and today's been kind of rough. I had to get rid of some bags, but right now I'm standing at a 57 wins, 5 losses with 1.2% profit, which considering today has been really brutal. So definitely taking every inch I can get. Heading over to Bone Comma. Performance-wise, on the 9th, I had 118 wins with 20 losses with a 1.57% profit. Yesterday, again, a rough day with 89 wins, 7 losses with a 2.25% profit. And then today, you know, I had a lot of bags. You know, normally, you know, I try to keep my bags to a minimum, even if it's kind of high. I'll give it some time to, you know, work itself out, but there were a number of bags that, you know, were getting really old and they just weren't really being healthy. So sometimes you just gotta take the wins with the losses, but you know, I still have 6 hours left in the day, and I have no doubt that Bone Comma will make a comeback and put me into the positive. The biggest thing with Bone Comma, if you're going to use it, is remember that it is an aggressive strategy, and I like that aggressive strategy. But you know, when times are kind of tough, you're taking more of a risk with aggressiveness, but it will pay off. You know, so with that said, you know, definitely, I don't think it'll be a bad day. I think we'll still come out in the green on this, unless, you know, the Bitcoin, you know, the bears or the bulls make a move, and you know, before the end of the day, which is very possible. I've seen it happen, you know, late at night where it's just out of the woodwork and completely changes the entire game. So just stay on your toes, folks, because you know, it could be this week, it could be next week, you know, it could be in the next hour, but definitely there's going to be a big move up or down in Bitcoin. You know, that dominance is just way too high for that not to happen. The volume's really low, so who knows? You know, just play it the best you can, and you know, go from there. So the news I touched on yesterday, and I'll go into this real quick again, is the Gemini exchange ran by the Winklevoss twins is going to be launching what's called the Gemini dollar. This is backed 1-to-1 by the US dollar, and what makes this different than, let's say, Tether is you know, it is 100% backed by a bank. You know, they're being, you know, even though Tether says they are, they're not very transparent about their coin. This is completely different. They're being completely transparent about the Gemini dollar. It will be audited every month to ensure that every coin is backed by $1. And that's huge. I don't know if this will be, this particular coin will be the future, but, and I've been thinking this for a while, believing this, that at some point we will start seeing either more currency pairs, which some exchanges have already started to do, or we'll start seeing coins that are truly backed by said currency. And at that point, Bitcoin dominance won't mean as much because, you'll have a little bit more of a stable trading platform with pairs. So it'll be interesting to see over, I would say, the next year to where this new, path could lead us. I'm not entirely against it. I'm not entirely for it. I'm somewhere in the middle of the road right now. I just want to wait and see in the long run, how that's going to affect the market. But a little stabilization, to be honest, isn't necessarily a bad thing. With Apex Tracker, there's some things coming up in future releases, and I just wanted to let you guys know some really cool things that I know a lot of people have been waiting on. So number one, you're going down the road, you'll be able to cancel DCA limit buy, split and merge positions. You'll be able to do a panic sell into Tether. That is huge. And everyone knows that's just a huge game changer, because then, when the markets crash, you don't have to sell into Bitcoin, and then, you'll still have to sell into Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin will sell into Tether, because not everything is paired with a Tether, at least not on Binance. You can arm a new TSL manually for an open position. You can cancel button to stop any stop loss or any order that has been placed, and then automatically change between TSL and fixed percentages. So some cool stuff coming up. No dates on them yet, but hey, there's stuff for us to look forward to. And I wanted to just talk about choosing the coins real quick. And I've touched upon this several times, but there's some questions that I see a lot in chat, and one of them is, what kind of, what should I choose? And the two biggest that are used are 70, and I'm just going to go over these two real quick because I don't want this video to run on forever. But you got the top 75 volume base and the top 75 volume quote. The other ones you guys can kind of figure out for yourselves, or you can go into the, the small fact page they have right now, and they break it down for you. But your top 75 volume base is your coin. So here, it would be ADA. That would be your base top 75. So so when you choose that, it's going to, following your strat, following volume, it'll be the volume of those particular coins. And then if you choose top 75 quote, it goes off of the Ethereum volume for that coin. So for example, the volume for ETH in ADA, and so on down the list. Now, when that question is asked, the most often one that is recommended is a top 75 volume quote. This isn't coming from this is my recommendation or anything like that. This is just what I've seen recommended the most by, again, people far more experienced than I am. I've been, yes, I've been using it. One thing I have been doing is I have been updating this every couple hours. And I would say I'm seeing an average of a change of 5 coins every time I do it. So, that might not be a bad strategy for you to look into. I think that it's been, working pretty well for me in that. So there's a couple others I'm just going to go into really quick. What do you do with partially filled orders? So if you're here and you say, you see partially filled, it's not going to set if you have it on, a stop limit or even a trailing stop loss. A lot of times they're not going to sell because it doesn't fit the minimum, or it hasn't filled the order yet, so it's going to have problems. It just doesn't figure that out yet. So basically just, when you start seeing it go into the positive, like earlier I had a partially filled order and it was at like at positive 10%, so I just went ahead and hit the mark to sell on it and got what I got out of it. So you can wait till it goes positive. You can wait till it goes to your usual stop limit, or you can just see how high it can go and gamble with it a little bit. But yeah, right now you have to manually sell it. It is what it is. Doesn't take that long, but it's nothing to get too crazy or too worried about. It happens, and that's just the nature of the market. And the other question I've been seeing a lot more often is what's the difference between a profit percentage and trailing stop loss. Your profit percentage is, we'll go into the strat center, my strategies real quick, and we'll just go into Venom really quick and I can show you. So under cell type, so if you pick percent profit, you go over here and you punch in, whether it's 1%, if you're going to go under 1%, make sure you put in a decimal point and then punch it in. So basically when my coins hit 0.75%, or when they buy it at whatever price they buy it at, it calculates 0.75% and then sets the sell limit for that. If you go with the profit trail, all right, so you tell it at what percentage to arm. So I had played around with this earlier. Obviously I decided to go with the profit percentage, but you can, so I had it armed at 1%, and then so as soon as it hit 1%, it armed. You just hear that beep. Not really, but. And then if it continues to go up, then when it hits its peak and starts to go down, it arms, and then it would sell at whatever percentage you want it to. You can do 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, whatever it is that you want that. So in this case, if it arms at 1 and it goes down, it would sell at, or try to sell at 0.8%. Again, is there one better than the other? No, not really. It's just a personal preference. It's how you want to play the game. And that's what it boils down to. Nothing wrong with playing around with it to figure out what best suits your strategies. And then the most recent question I've seen popping up, a lot of people are saying, well, how do I mute the cha-ching sound? From my understanding, they're actually working on adding that in with a later release. But for now, you can just right-click on your tab and then hit mute site, and that will disable your sound. So with that said, I hope I've been able to help some people out with this. But that's where I'm at right now. Right now I'm just kind of playing the market by ear. I'm going to continue letting the bots do their thing until Bitcoin makes a move, and then I will adjust my strategies from there. But as I said, I am more prepared for Bitcoin to go down, and so I have my ideas in place on where I'm going to sell, where I'm going to get out, where I'm going to buy back in, and whatnot. Hopefully, we can keep the 6,000 mark and move back up. But like I said earlier in this video, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if Bitcoin dropped to 4. So on that note, I hope everyone has a happy trading, a good day, be successful. Don't forget, if you like this video, to hit that thumbs up. And if you want to know when I pop up these videos, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Shout out to everybody on Discord, and I'll see you guys next time.